Is it a smoking gun or a manipulated fact? Douglas Shulman, former head of the IRS, visited the White House 157 times, according to the public visitor records released by the White House. It's a number conservatives are squeezing in the ongoing scandal.
What the heck was Mr. Shulman doing at the White House with that kind of frequency? In his testimony before Congress, Shulman was a wise guy.
What would be some of the reasons you might be at the White House?
The Easter egg roll with my kids.
The Easter egg roll with his kids, of course, that's just one visit. But let's bring in our political panel to talk about it. CNN contributor and Republican strategist Kevin Madden, CNN contributor and Democratic strategist Stephanie Cutter, and CNN senior political analyst and editorial director for National Journal, Ron Brownstein. So, Kevin, Democrats say there's fuzzy math going on here, that Shulman in this 157 visits, he didn't always meet with the president. It wasn't always in the White House itself. It could have been in the old executive office building, the Treasury. Right. What do you think about the way that the White House is handling this crisis, and is this part of the crisis?
Well, look, I mean, we've been dealing with this now with people asking more questions about it for about a week, because when the IRS commissioner was first asked about it during that testimony, he did infuriate, I think, a lot of members of Congress with his answer. You know, that's one visit, right, out of 157 where they're on the public logs. And then I think he raised a lot of red flags with the media. And here we are a week later where we're finding out all this new information when the IRS commissioner had a chance to answer it right then and there and end any speculations, talk about what the meetings were, what he was doing, why. And he didn't. And I think that has been one of the big problems here with this scandal and some of the others, is this lack of command and control over some of the information that the White House needs in order to push back.
Shulman did say that he can't remember ever talking about
if someone
the
had asked
political
me
groups.
If I was somewhere 157 times and I wasn't, I would have known the answer, and I would have given that answer. Or I would have at least elaborated on it during that time. And here we are, a week later, and we're still arguing about it.
And Stephanie, I know you have something to say about this. The White House pushing back very hard today on this 157 number.
Well, a couple of facts here, which I think are important for us to stick by. Number one, the only reason we know about these visits is because the president makes everything public. Number two, what we're really looking at, some of these visits.
The visitor logs public. Go on.
Yes, the only president in history to do
Fair
that.
enough.
What we're looking at are the number of times that Mr. Shulman was cleared into the White House. It doesn't necessarily mean he went to a meeting. Number three, many of those meetings were for health care implementation. I was in them with him. So there's nothing nefarious going on. I will say it's a missed opportunity by him at his hearing to just shut it down. He should have, and he shouldn't have made light of it. It's actually an important piece of information for people to have. But this is a fabricated debate. Just because Bill O'Reilly is raising questions about it, it doesn't mean that there's actually anything going on here that's wrong.
The nature of investigations, of congressional investigations, we've all seen them, is to produce almost an endless series of these kind of factoids. The bright, sharp line, I think, is still the same. What takes this from where it is now to something bigger is if there is clear evidence that someone beyond the IRS ordered them to have this kind of differential enforcement. Until we have that, I think you have a challenge that is containable for the administration. And I think we're going to have, Jake, I think we're going to have a lot of examples of, information that kind of raises more questions. But until you find something that crosses that very clear line, I think this is still a containable story.
So you agree with Stephanie you agree with Stephanie, no evidence of that, but you'd also agree with Kevin that the White House could be handling this better?
No, look, I mean, and I think, look, it's going to keep happening. I mean, this is going to keep happening. The nature of investigations are there are going to be suggestive facts and situations that come out. But I think the clear question in the mind of the public is going to be, was this kind of differential treatment ordered by anyone beyond the IRS?
The only evidence that we have right now is an Inspector General report that says no, there was no outside influence.
I want to move to the next topic, which is in the most recent Quinnipiac poll. Hillary Clinton's favorability ratings have taken a hit. It was 61%, which is huge, very, very strong. Now it's 52%. The big question, I guess, is why, Kevin? Is
the wonderful safe confines of having an apolitical job in a very political city. And now, once you step outside of those safe confines, and you're then, again, put into the scrutiny of the political machine, whether it's on the media, opponents, and just the nature of politics itself, it takes a hit, and it's inevitable.
Do polls matter this early? I mean, we don't even know if she's going to run for president, but do they matter this early?
No, they don't. They don't really reflect ultimately how people are going to vote in primaries or, general elections. It's an eternity between now and 2016.
Having said that, I mean, that is obviously true. But what this does show you is the natural kind of resting point in American politics right now is pretty close to 50-50.
Right.
We are a very closely divided country. Slight demographic advantage for Democrats in the presidential race, but 61% reality and gravity are setting in when you come back to where she is now.
Ron's heard this from me and Stephanie before on campaigns. We always say, polling's just a snapshot. They change.
Yeah.
And that's when it's good and bad.
Well, congratulations on joining our family here at CNN. Great to have you guys. Ron, always good to see you. Stephanie Cutter, Kevin Madden, Ron Grunstein. Thanks.